Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuning In. Safe Sandwall and our boy Raj.
What's going on,
We
guys?
got a
What's
special
going on?
guest today. Special
Yes,
guest.
very, very special man from
Yes,
Scarborough.
yes. Came from humble beginnings, you
Scarborough.
know. Came
What's
from
your
humble
hood?
beginnings. There's no really hoods. We
You don't
need
stick to one, eh? You
we
just
don't
bounce
We don't
around.
need to stick to one. You know what I mean? If you stick to one, you're stuck in that circle. You don't want to be just in that circle. You know, you gotta move on and meet new people and socialize.
You're a socialist guy,
network.
eh? You like to
Yeah,
talk,
yeah.
you know?
He's a smooth talker. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's
So yeah,
up?
man, we're pretty excited to have you on board.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Really, you know, I'm excited to be part of the team. You know, I did just join you guys, you know, not too long ago. Been less than a year, but it's been a pretty amazing experience, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like it's the people around us is great. You know what I mean? The workflow is good. I've been learning a lot. You know
I
what
agree
I mean?
with that.
So we have an amazing team. You know, like from even you. Boss is one of the chillest bosses out there. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know about
You
that,
know?
man. I'm not the biggest fan.
Yo, when it's when it's time to push, you gotta push.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Now, if I was to say anything about you, Raj, I'd say you're one of the hardest working techs we got. One of
true.
the
Nice,
friendliest
thank you.
guys. One of the friendliest
Big
guys.
smiles, big
and
smiles.
very honest.
Yeah,
which I
yeah. You know what I
appreciate.
mean? I try to
The
like
Scarborough
you know,
traits, you know.
Yeah. No, well, no. To be honest, I'm not going to hate on people from Scarborough or anything like that. But just
What you gotta say?
genuinely
What
people
you gotta
like
say?
it's hard to trust a lot of people. You know what I mean? A lot of people say trust is they say they're honest, but you know what I mean? Like how far can you really trust that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you keep your word up to 100, you know what I mean? If you keep your word, like that same energy would come back to you. You know what I mean? No one would try
Yeah,
to
it's
snake
about
you like
being
that.
a man, like a man of your word.
Exactly,
Guys,
100%.
I think I'm gonna die by that word.
100%. But I
Because
feel
you know
like
when I move my mouth and
yeah.
I say something, like man, it's bit me so many times. It happens to me all the time. I'm like,
You
yeah,
eat your
don't
words.
worry. You know what? If this doesn't happen, I'll do this. Like especially when it comes to cars. You know,
Yeah.
I'll have a customer saying, hey, are you sure this is gonna work? And I'm like, you know, you do a quick thought process. You're like, yeah, this is gonna work. Don't worry, man. It's gonna work. I got you. Hey, if there's any issues, man, I'll take care of it. And you know what? Sometimes that bites me, man.
Yeah,
But the thing
yeah.
is, it's about keeping your word. Once you tell somebody, hey, I'm gonna do this for you, you can't back out.
100%.
Like for me personally, it's one of the things I struggle with a lot because I will not back out.
and you
If I tell you,
inconvenience yourself sometimes by sticking along with what you say.
yeah,
but
like
you
if I
have
tell,
to do it. You have to.
If I tell you something, I'm gonna do it. I don't
Even
care.
if you put
it's
yourself
about,
at a loss.
yeah, if it costs me money, if
Yeah.
it doesn't cost me money, or it's
Cost you your
embarrassment
time,
or pride,
cost
it
you your
doesn't
time,
matter.
yeah.
But I find that a lot of people don't stick to that. You know, they'll say something, and then, you know what? Once it's not, you know, it's not going their way, there's a beautiful excuse. Oh, because of this, this is not happening. So, you know, that keeping your word, man. I mean, for me, I appreciate that a lot. I like that about you. You're actually, you know what? You come to work, you give your 110 every day,
100%.
and you're a pleasure to work with. I love picking on you all day long, just funny stuff like
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
the stuff
The
I
shop
tell this guy
banter,
all day
yeah.
long. Oh man, it's
the banter around here is crazy still. Like, yeah, everybody gets a go at it. You know,
It's good,
everybody
though.
catches it too once in a while.
Exactly.
You know, and that's just part of the team, right? That's just how it is working with guys. You know what I mean? You can't be too soft in this trade, in this industry. I think in this industry, there's a lot of brute force. You know what I mean?
Very
a lot of
masculine
bantering.
environment,
Could be
yeah.
tough.
It is. You gotta be a little tough. Like,
Yeah.
it's not saying it's like I'm not saying there can't be female technicians. Of course, I support that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of girls
There's some
getting into
tough
this.
female
There's tough
technicians
females
out
out here.
there,
There's a lot of
man.
females recently I've been noticing getting into cars. You know what I mean? Fixing it. You know, learning through their dad or their brothers or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just it's a tough environment to be
100%.
with. You know what I mean? Like,
Especially in the car scene too.
100%. Like the technology is not getting any easier. You know what I mean? It's getting more harder and tougher. Like it's gonna push technicians through barriers. You know what I mean? They're gonna get cornered at certain points, but then they're gonna eventually have to move on and learn and keep pushing so they can be better.
They're gonna have to learn how to do an oil change on a Tesla, right?
Yeah, exactly. Soon enough. I don't
Hey,
know.
funny thing, there's oil in that
There's
Tesla.
oil in the car. Exactly.
Yeah.
That motor has some oil.
Yeah,
There's a gearbox with oil.
Yeah, gearbox with the differential, like something that
Yeah.
like transmits the
There
power,
you go.
right?
That
So-
joke
That was a
may
good
not-
question. Good question.
What oil are you changing? You're not changing an engine oil. You're changing some kind of oil in there.
So Raj, what got you into the field, or what got you into cars?
What got me into cars? I don't know. When I came to Canada, honestly, the car was because I was in India, right? And I really wanted to be a pilot and whatever. But then when I came to Canada, I just started seeing cars going around. I was in high school actually, to be honest. And honestly, I wasn't picking up anything in high school, right? But I had auto class, whatever. So I was inside there. I was taking apart engines, and the teacher seen me. He's like, "Yo, you seem like you have potential." And he used to be running a program called City Motive for all of TSB. So what City Motive is basically, it's a co-op program through your high school. So and half your schedule you'll be doing college. So you'll be learning from from professors and whatever. So he told me, "Yo, just get in there, just see what you can do." And then slowly I got in with college, Centennial College, started doing my level 1 or whatever. And then I kind of got hooked up into cars and started seeing people slammed cars, Civics, and then it just slowly got me into that.
Yeah. What was your first car?
My first car is a '99 Civic.
Obviously, of
it's a
course.
typical
Everyone has a
Scarborough
Honda.
thing, four-door,
buddy.
5-speed.
Did
you
it
know
have
what
a
I mean?
muffler?
Yes, I did. I had a Mugen twin loop muffler on
Attaboy.
it. Yeah, cold air intake, cry. I had it for maybe a year and a
Were
half.
you ever
then I
pulled
got-
over in it?
Yeah, I've been pulled over with it, but honestly, when I got pulled over, he gave me a warning on it, so he
Okay.
let me out. I was like, nice, but the car only lasted me maybe a year. Then I rear-ended a lady,
Oh man.
and honestly, the Civic, the airbag blew, but on her car, literally no damage. All she had was my license plate bolt mark on her bumper. That's
That
it.
car saved your life.
Well, the
It was a
airbag
Honda,
blew.
so-
It was a Honda Civic, and I was surprised the airbag blew on a '99 Civic. I was like, "Whoa, it still works, guys!" Which was
It
crazy.
didn't blow up in your face, right? No
Yeah,
shrapnel
it was
went in your
both.
face.
I was like, "Oh
what did you
my
have
God."
after that?
Dude, what do you mean?
After
Oh,
the
what did I have? What car? I had another Civic. I had 2 more Civics again, EKs, but it was very momentarily. I had it for a month, whatever, flipped it, and then I got myself an Accord, 2000 Accord. I had that
Nice.
for maybe 2 years, and yeah. Then again, I just lowered it a little bit. I just did small works, try to learn as I go on it, right? But nothing major. And then yeah, that car got into another accident as well.
How many accidents have you been in?
So I've been in 2 accidents so far.
Okay. Both
That's
not at
about
fault?
it. One was at fault, and the other one was not really.
Not really, yo. What do you mean by not really?
I was.
They didn't catch you.
They didn't catch me. That's what it is.
I'm in Raz.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
yo,
know what I mean?
sometimes you got to do it the Scarborough way.
Exactly. Sometimes,
Hey,
like, yeah, but I didn't hit nobody.
is
Let's,
this
just,
car-
let's just clear things
what's
up here.
the
I
whole-
didn't hit nobody.
It was
I
a
didn't hit no
victimless
car.
crime.
It was nobody.
What's
was,
this whole hype about Scarborough, man? I grew up in Brampton, so I
Well,
don't know the ways of
Well,
what's
hype about
Scarborough?
like really, Scarborough's been like one of the oldest neighborhoods around, right? Compared to like Brampton is something just like really popped off within the past recent years. Same with Pickering and Durham and all of that, but Scarborough's been around. So like, when I came to Canada, like I was in Kennedy and Eglinton. So growing up around hoods, you know what I mean? Like what made me really humble in a way, I'm kind of glad I grew up in Scarborough because it really made me humble for who I am.
Definitely
'cause,
grounded for sure.
Like really grounded, because what I learned to see around me is a lot of people who are struggling, who are older than me. I grew up around a lot of older people, and most of them, a good amount of them are successful, but a lot of them were not making it. You know what I mean? They have to do some dirt to make some money. They were struggling. You know what I mean? Because of stupid decisions, it may be, or bad choices, bad calls, just whatever it is, and things like that put life in perspective for me. You know what I mean? I wanted to be better. I needed to humble myself down. You know what I mean? Certain scenarios I would hear from some certain people, I would take that as an advice, and then when I ever come across that kind of situation, I would be like, hey, think about what happened to that guy, how they played out. What can I do differently for something to benefit me?
Very self-aware.
Yeah, in that sense, you know what I mean? So in a way that that really humbled me down, and Scarborough's a tough neighborhood to grow up in, and
A lot of lower income areas. and-
the first month in school I was in a fight. You know what I mean? Kids
Yeah.
want to pick on you and stuff. Like it's like that everywhere. I'm not just saying Scarborough
Everyone's in that
special.
survival mindset.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more survival in Scarborough. Like everything's a little bit more segregated in Scarborough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hood guys. You got your town people. Your coolie people. Like everybody's a little bit segregated. Grow up in schools, especially in Scarborough. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's like in Brampton or Pickering. I think they seem more friendlier. But
I
I've
think
noticed
Pickering's
that.
a lot more mixed. But when
Lot
I was
more
growing up in
mixed.
Brampton, it was
More
somewhat
diverse.
There's
segregation
a lot
because
more
there's
wealth with the mixture that is here in Pickering.
Yeah,
With the
no,
mixture that's in
Pickering's a
Scarborough.
rich town.
Everybody understands, that everyone comes from something that's more humble. Right?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like that experience I think that you explained with the Dominican, right? Where everyone has that mentality. It's a different mentality. It's a survival mentality. It's them versus the world, or them and their family and their loyal group versus everyone else.
And it's the experience that they've gone through to understand that. You know what I mean? Sometimes that experience could corrupt you and you do the same thing again. You know what I mean? I did not want to be raised around that like area, like not even area, like around those times.
You had a choice, too.
And I had a choice. Should I let myself be corrupted and be part of that whole thing and be part of the system? You know what I mean? And then the whole system's on me. You know what I mean? And then put my parents or family in through suffering, whatever it may be, you know?
Yeah.
Should I do that? Or should I like, okay, hold on, stop, wait, let's take a step back. Like, let me check myself before I really wreck myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I put that in perspective. And honestly, I've been doing the best as I can. I'm not saying I'm some kind of millionaire or anything like that. I'm still working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
You're on your come up.
I'm always on my come up. You know, I'm always trying to learn something. I'm always trying to break my barriers. Doesn't matter what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm scared of fights, but it doesn't mean I won't skydive, which I've done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always trying to conquer my fears. You know what I mean? But I do
You guys got a lot
understand.
in common. You guys share a lot of similar traits, and that's probably why you guys get along so well too.
Yeah, me and Raj get along very well.
Yeah,
All
most
day
staff-
long, I'm just
most-
poking.
Yeah,
Every time I can
100%.
poke at him,
100%.
I'm poking at him. You know,
100%.
that's
100%.
Our
like
Jaguar Land Rover specialist.
he's our Jaguar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, it's funny. I mean, we're a Euro shop, right? Work on Euro cars, and
Nobody wants
for
to
me,
work on.
yeah, for me that's for me when I envisioned the Euro route, you know, there was a lot of like, don't do it, it's hard to work on, it's this, it's that, because my background is all Honda, Toyota. I worked at a dealership at Toyota for a couple of years. I did Honda, I did Hyundai, I did Mazda, you know, all kinds of dealerships, but never at like BMW or Mercedes. And it's funny when you're stuck working on Japanese cars, you don't look at domestic. I could never see myself working for Chrysler or Ford. You know, you're just not used to that.
Yeah.
And in the odd time that one of those cars get traded in, you look, you're like, whoa, oh hell no, I'm not working on this. And I remember like the first BMW I looked at, I was like, damn man, what kind of bolt is that? Ew, you know what I mean?
That's
like
a
it's
torque.
This is what is this?
what?
Like so many different patterns.
I didn't even know what that was. You know,
Torque.
I was lost, man. I was confused. So, you know, like so when I opened my own place, and majority of the customers were Honda, Toyotas. You know, that's what was coming in, and slowly we started seeing some domestics. Okay, whatever. You know, we did them, and then it's funny because the couple of first BMWs. No, I remember the first one had an issue was with an Audi. I had an Audi come in when we put synthetic oil in it because hey, it's an Audi. It gets synthetic oil, 5W30.
Yeah.
Well, the car came back a month later with absolutely no oil in it, nothing. And I was like, what? Where did it go? You know, it wasn't leaking. There was no leaks. It was gone. The engine had consumed it because it was a wrong spec oil. It wasn't a Volkswagen 502 rated oil. So this is where, at the time, I think I spoke to Liquid Moly. The rep came in and we went through it, and you know, I got educated that this is not. It's not just oil. You know, it's not just synthetic oil. This is synthetic oil that meets Volkswagen, Audi spec. It's by spec, and it took me honestly, like it took me some time to really figure that spec out because it didn't make any sense. You know, when you've been working on Japanese cars, 5W30, 540,
toss it in there.
0W20,
Vegetable
it.
oil or Pepsi
Sure.
in that
Follow the
thing,
grade.
she'll
That's
still
Throw
all you
run.
water
have
in
to
it,
do.
call it a day.
Just follow the grade and that's it. You
Yeah.
call it a day. You don't have to go by
so
specs.
that was
That's one thing I like. You know, you're absolutely right.
no, it's a
You're-
lot easier, right? I mean, now Toyota's doing the 0W16 and things are
Yeah,
getting
hybrids.
a lot more, you know, by
Advanced.
spec and so on. But at the time,
getting
this
very
was
tight,
this was probably like 8 years ago, and I was like, wow. And you know, once we started working on European cars, you know, more and more, and you know, you start working, you start seeing the difference, and it was like, man, these cars are so well made. You know, like bolts hardly break, things come apart. It's engineered a certain way, and you know, it just makes sense. Like I always tell people this: well, look at a 10-year-old Mercedes, and then look at a 10-year-old Honda. Look at a 10-year-old Ford.
Look at the advancement they have in between.
Look, no,
each
not
other.
even advancement, but look how nice, like a 2012 Mercedes C
yeah,
300 or
100%.
something, or a 2012 Honda Accord, or a 2012
Even
Ford
the 20
Focus.
2011 Porsche Panamera.
Yeah.
The one that I test drove yesterday. I'm in the car, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a 2011.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It drives
absolutely.
amazing. It
100%.
looks when it's nice and cleaned and washed and sitting outside, it looks amazing.
One thing I gotta
Timeless.
give European vehicles, they're like a lot of their cars, like inside's a little bit timeless, like timepieces. You know what I mean? They could last you for a good amount of decades.
Except
You'd be
Jaguar.
like, yeah, except for Jaguar, yeah,
But
excluded.
new Land Rover
dude,
Jaguar is
it
starting to
was
look really
beautiful.
nice. They're stepping it up.
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
man.
so Land Rover Jaguar is it's a funny brand, to be honest with you. It's real. They've gone through so much. They've gone to different ownerships. Right now, they're owned by Tata from
Tata
India.
from India,
right?
and then
And,
right after Evoque, after they made the Evoque,
Yeah.
they did the switch over, and after that, honestly, I'm very surprised how Tata is moving towards like more modern tech with it, like making it more sleeker. Like
Yeah.
it's super breakthrough what they're doing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Like they
to
look
say
like
it's coming-
tanks now.
eh,
Like the
what?
designs are unreal. Then you see
Beautiful.
the
I
new
agree.
Discovery. Wow,
I mean, like,
unbelievable.
the other day when we had the F pace,
Yeah.
that seats
The
inside,
Jaguar, yeah.
Oh
I still
my
don't think
God.
that I could own one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
fair. That's fair.
yeah,
I agree.
that's-
I wouldn't go out and buy one, but from a consumer standpoint, they
Yes.
are selling,
Yeah.
and especially Land Rover, they have a certain look,
They do.
like
yeah.
a black Land Rover, black wheels. I mean, that looks like a boss vehicle.
I would
Well,
definitely.
put it like
I would
this.
lease one. I would lease one for sure.
Yeah.
Put it like this:
Yeah.
you'll see more Mercedes or BMWs like commonly rode on than a Jaguar. Jaguars like really did revamp everything, and now they're just attracting markets. People. People are just like, oh, it's a Jaguar.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, let me get a Jaguar. They always see a BMW. They always see a Mercedes. They want something a little different, something that they can afford as well, right?
Well,
so that's why this
exactly
Jaguar
what I've
is
heard
killing.
from a customer of ours. He bought what was it? I think it was a Jaguar. He bought the Jaguar because he was used to Mercedes. He was used. Everyone in his neighborhood had a Mercedes or a BMW.
Yeah.
And there wasn't as many Jaguars or Land Rovers, so he bought himself a Jaguar.
He just wants to be different. Some people want to be different. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like so, like
100%.
Yeah, but
like a
something
lot-
like Land Rovers had is like, I remember back in the days, like in 08 or 2010, like a Land Rover, you barely saw them, but when you saw them,
That's
they
a-
were tough.
But they've
Oh,
always
yeah.
been like that. We get
That's-
that one
yeah,
from
it's
1994 that
people
comes in the
whoever
shop.
have Range Rover when I've seen an 08s, like
That
yo,
was-
it's either they're a drug dealer or they're rich as hell.
Some
It's
sort of
not like
gangster
something
shit.
player or gangster. I would see regular people driving an ML or a GL, no problem. Like decently doing people, like you know what I mean. I'm not saying like decently.
Someone driving a
like,
Land Rover was
but, like,
hustling. Was
100%. Like
something
it's either
hard.
Caddy or Range Rover,
Yeah.
Cadillac Escalade.
They,
or
they got
that.
some business they're about.
I'm like either you're a pimp, you're a
100%.
gangster, or,
And I'm
or
not
you're-
asking. I'm minding my own business.
Yeah,
100%.
it's none of my business.
But
Like, hey man,
what makes them tough to work on? So the problem we have in the shop is, if a BMW comes in, everyone touches it. Mercedes, Audi, everyone loves Porsche.
Everyone wants them.
If a McLaren or something like that comes in, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
the whole shop just stops and we admire. But
admire it and
Land
enjoy it
Rover,
and shit.
Land Rover Jaguar comes in and everyone runs away from it. What is it?
100%.
What
Except
is
for
it about
Raj.
I think it's like what honestly. Okay, so I just want to let you guys know a little bit something about myself. I am just like you. I've started with a Japanese background, and I'm very comfortable with Japanese. You can slap me any Japanese Subarus, I'll go nuts, no problem. But with that being said, European is a little bit a different path. I am a little scared, but then I wanted to change that about myself. That's why I wanted to work at a European shop. I wanted to get better. But I am understanding that from every other like BMW compared to an Audi to Porsche or even a what else Audi, right? Compared that to a Land Rover or Jaguar, the way they're engineering their parts, it's more like they're not thinking about the mechanics of how they're going to service the vehicle. It's more in a tight spot, or the way they design it. It's more like abnormal in a sense.
The
'Cause
engineer
even-
said, "Fuck you."
Like, yeah, basically, like they didn't care. They wanted like some English bloke from UK to fix that. They didn't want no regular text. I mean,
And what you
know
want
what
to
I
say
mean?
is, "Fuck you guys."
No, but then again, like I'm ready for a challenge. You know what I mean? I just need my little time to kind of get used to it. You know what I mean? Figure out certain tricks and techniques. I know it's not enough to fix the whole damn car, but it's enough to have an understanding. I want to get more familiar with it. Like that's why when you guys say I'm the Land Rover Jaguar specialist, I am gonna get better. Everybody's
That's the
like,
fun
"Yeah,
we're poking at you."
Yeah, it's,
Hey,
it's
but
a pain
you
in
know
the
what?
ass, but I'm not afraid of it. Like,
100%.
let's
He's the
just-
only guy in the shop that actually does. he'll take care of it and not complain about it. I
No
just see
questions
the Land
asked.
Rover come in, it gets fixed, and it's
Well,
out the
that's
door.
Raj. You can throw him anything. He's our GM specialist.
Yeah, I know. Some people like, oh,
100%.
Dodge, Avalanche,
Yeah.
It is what it is. I get it done. Just it's just it's a little bit bigger. It's going to take me a little time,
love
more time,
avalanches.
but it's what can I say, bro? I have to prove my strides. My first weekend,
That
here, I
one
gotta get
truck,
an
it
Avalanche.
loved you, eh? It couldn't
Oh,
leave you.
man. It couldn't leave me. No, it was there for what? Oh, yeah, almost like 3
No,
days.
man,
4
for
days.
me, I never see it like that. I look at it, I'm a mechanic, I'm a technician. I love
Exactly.
what I do. My
100%.
hands are my blessing. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care what name is on the damn car. I'm gonna
100%.
fix it.
Exactly.
Like I don't know why guys are so like, ooh, or another one is, oh, I don't do oil changes. Bro, do your damn job. You know what I mean? I don't care. It's an oil change, it's a tire.
Like
who cares?
Just like but an oil change is like a strand of venues to get even more jobs. You know what I mean? Like if something is wrong with your vehicle, something's wrong with your vehicle, you could see that by doing an oil change. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like if you don't like what you do, like you know what I mean, then you
Find
shouldn't even be
something
doing
else.
like find something else.
Well,
Like, you can't be doing an oil change.
the everyday customer doesn't know that their brakes are low, for instance, right? So they know that a light comes on that says your Mercedes is due for Type A service, or oil change. So they're bringing it in. So if you're the mechanic working on that car, you go for your road test, you bring it in, you put it up, and you say, "Oh my gosh, there's no brakes on the car." Oh, look, this control arm bushing is worn or loose. Wow, these tires look horrible. Hey, that's when you bring the customer in, you show them, and they say, "Oh, thank you so much." So
90% of them will.
Yeah, you've done your job.
Yeah.
You've done your job. So
No, but like they're thankful for them to being informed by that thing. You know what I mean? Like it's their car at the end of the day. It's an investment that they put, the customer put. They want to take care of that. Like, and if you don't even want to do the oil change, it's we're at a dead end right now, right? It's to move
You're on the
forward.
wrong
It's
line
just-
of business.
yeah, that's what I generally find. And like another thing too, what I find, techs out there, they like to specialize in only in one thing, like in one certain like cars. Like Honda guys just want to stick to Honda.
yeah. Well, not even this
Nissan.
that. The guy when I worked at a Honda dealer, the guys a lot of the older guys especially, they're like, yeah, I do like brakes, and I'm like, what do you mean you do brakes? No, he just wants to do brakes all day. Like he wants to come to work and do brake job after brake job after brake job, and that's it. Or the guy wants to strictly do electrical. And I know I don't know much about GM dealerships, but I know GM does driveline technicians, and they have transmission.
Ford
mechanics.
does that.
True.
And
Ford
that
does
is
that.
so
Yeah.
that is so weird, man.
Some
Like,
guys just for engines only, and some guys only for
100%.
suspensions.
That's crazy.
And I believe, I don't know if Donway Ford had that. But I recall hearing something like that. Some guys would be just heavy duty Fords.
A lot of
You know what I
domestic
mean?
shops have that vibe. I
so
feel.
crazy, bro. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
But I think it makes sense with Ford because Ford goes from a small vehicle to all the way to your big heavy duty diesel.
No, but that
So
I
they
get
would-
that.
if
I
it's
get
a
that. Like
dealer,
if
they
you
would
work
split it
on
up.
trucks, that's cool. And that's why we have a 310 and you have a 310T and you have
yeah.
different license, right? I get that. But I'm saying like in my head, if there's a car that comes in, I'm sorry, but as a technician, as a licensed guy, I have if there's something wrong with the car, I can go to the service manual and see what it is.
There's nothing you can't do.
There isn't.
100%.
Like
It's
I
a car
don't.
at the
I
end of the
always
day.
challenge myself. I love that challenge. Yeah, I may not like this brand. I may not like the way the car looks, but at the end of the day, I like doing a damn good job, and I like being proud that I can fix something or take care of something. So there's
Or a
no
challenge.
like, You know what? I remember a few years back when we started really getting into this Euro stuff. I had guys tell me, "Oh, this is bullshit. This car should go to the dealer." And I'm like, "Why?" "Oh, because this is a hard job." I'm like, "Okay, aren't you a mechanic? Like, what's the problem here?" "Oh, no, man, I don't know how to do this, and we need." Oh, the excuse was we need special tools. I'm like, "Oh, really? Tell me what tool you need." And that's why the tool room is full of useless tools that we don't even use. Because the thing is, to do a timing chain on a certain job, you need a tool set. I get that. I'll get it. But then there's these other tools you may need, right? It makes the job easier, but you don't always need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can use your brain and make things happen, right?
yeah.
Or you may have a similar tool that does the job. And yeah, like I never understood that.
But that's the difference between a parts changer and a mechanic.
Yeah. I'd be like, bro, this is, I don't care. Okay, intermission.
All
So
right.
Raj, what do you got to say about people thinking about coming into the industry? Is there like at a certain age where you shouldn't really bother, or is it more for the young guys, the teenagers? What you
Well,
got some advice here?
yeah, most definitely. I think I'm not saying don't ever come to the trade. I'm saying you should definitely, young guys, young people should definitely get into the trade. If you're going to get into the trade, you should get in at a younger age. And what it is right now, I think mostly important in this trade, it's not just fixing cars. I could train anybody in the street. Takes me almost 3 to 8 months to teach anybody how to change tires, brakes, do your typical suspension. Anybody can do that. Anybody can be a part changer. To be a better tech is to learn how to diagnose. And right now, what's getting more intense is electrical and hybrids.
Sensors.
So mostly sensors, but now even electric and hybrid. Like there's even word that they're going to stop gasoline production cars by 2025 to even 2035 around there. So it's all going to be hybrid and electrical. So you should be able to know how to diagnose those. You need to be able to know how to handle high voltage equipment.
If that happens, I'm moving to Cuba.
I mean, it's happening real fast. Like it's happening.
It's gonna
So
be Cuban.
By
okay.
2150, they will have banned all gasoline engines in Cuba.
2150.
oh my god. Yeah, how you live that long? All right.
Yeah,
Who
but
knows?
this is real. This is gonna happen.
Yeah.
But this is really
I
going to
mean,
happen.
you got to look at it. Again, I'm a gearhead. I love, and we
Yeah.
were talking about this last week too about hybrids the whole Tesla movement. Man, I went back and I was doing a little bit of research on it, and it's like, you know what? This is the future, man. I mean, as much as
100%.
we like it, don't like it, whatever. I mean, look at it from an efficiency.
Exactly.
The electric vehicle is very, very efficient. You have multiple ways of creating electricity. You can use, if you want to go super green, you can use a windmill. You can use hydroelectric power plant to
Yeah.
make electric energy. And you know what? The power loss from that to the car itself for you to move is very, very minimum.
Exactly.
With gasoline, it's a lot. And then,
Yes.
like Toyota loves their hydrogen. And for the longest time, I was a hydrogen buff, man. I love hydrogen. I think hydrogen was the future because you're literally taking water, in a fuel cell, or if you want to use a typical engine, and you're pretty much you're burning hydrogen, and the byproduct is water. It's H2O. I mean, it can't get perfect in that.
Exactly.
But then when you look at the numbers, the efficiency numbers are really, really bad.
That's when you walk
They're
away.
not getting a lot of mileage
I think
or
the
anything
efficiencies,
like that.
for the amount of work you have to do to separate water into being a hydrogen and oxygen, right? Then the transport, then the filling, and then the extra systems that you require to have a fuel cell vehicle. It's a lot of stuff, more parts, and the efficiency sucks.
Yeah.
Man, I don't understand.
What does a hydrogen engine sound like?
It's electric. So
Pardon?
there's two ways to do hydrogen.
Okay.
One way is you use hydrogen as a fuel, right? And hydrogen as a fuel is amazing. I mean, it's the perfect. It's
So
the
in a
perfect
sense,
gas.
it would sound similar to a gasoline.
It'll be a
engine.
gasoline engine,
Yeah.
But
exactly.
it's-
And there's guys who use they add hydrogen into their normal cars. There's like a little rig you can rig up. You use distilled water, and you put some kind of baking soda, and you have a battery hooked up, and you run a
right.
little line to the front. It's like it's supposed to give you better gas mileage, right? But if you were to run pure hydrogen, the issue with pure hydrogen is to get liquid hydrogen, the tank has to be really, really strong, and the pressures are insane. Meaning it's in a bad
pressurized.
accident, it's an
Right.
explosion waiting to happen. Because how high, gasoline, there's
Yeah.
no pressure, but with liquid hydrogen,
Yeah.
it's insane amount of pressure that's
Kaboom.
I
required.
guess that's a big liability. So,
So
they
the
can't.
issue with the hydrogen a vehicle being, and you have cars on the road run by hydrogen. I think some of the city buses
Yeah,
are being
yeah.
run by. It says right on it.
It says on it,
powered by
hydro.
hydrogen.
Yeah.
Toyota has a vehicle they've been testing out in California that runs strictly on hydrogen. So the way hydrogen is, if you use it as a combustible, like if you use it like a normal engine, it doesn't sound any different. Where fuel cell technology comes in is you're using that hydrogen and you're creating electricity with hydrogen.
Oh.
So as you introduce that liquid as you introduce that in a fuel cell vehicle, when it joins with oxygen, water comes out. In the process of doing that, it creates electricity. So you have an electric vehicle that's run on hydrogen fuel cell. And the problem at the end of the day is efficiency. The efficiency numbers are really low.
Electric vehicles, for me to get on the bandwagon, I need to hear something badass. Like, I need to hear. If I can't get an unnecessary noise ticket, I'm not about
Don't
it.
worry, for you,
Okay,
we'll
so
get a big sound, like a speaker. That'll be under the driver's seat, and it'll vibrate too, like a big boom, buddy. You'll feel
biggest
it.
It'll say,
Boombox.
"Welcome, donkey."
but what would you rather, loud noise or go fast as
No,
hell?
I want both. I want all of it.
There's only you got to take
I
one
want
or
a
the other.
sensory overload. That's why I have an obsession and passion.
Okay, you know what? You know, I'd be interested actually. Would you like? Why don't you go drive a Plaid S? Like, go nuts. See if it see what it does for you.
Well,
Yeah.
what the interesting thing for me is I saw a Ford. I think it was on Hoonigan's channel, and it was a Mach E prototype. It was like 1,400 horsepower, and it was built to sound and designed to sound like a jet engine, and it blew my absolute mind. But too bad that can't be like
Accessible.
an everyday car, because like I'd go head over heels for something like that. That would be amazing.
So maybe that's where the sector is gonna come in for crazy guys like you. They're gonna
Yeah.
make some jet-sounding flying cars, or
Cars,
some
like
shit, and
the
you could
company
go all
called
crazy
Remark.
for
I don't
it.
know if you ever heard of Remark. Remark's an electric, all fully electric car, and Remark actually I think signed a deal with Tesla or something like that to
That's brilliant.
to re-engineer their battery cell or the battery system, something like something. to
I
do
mean,
with that.
gas is
But-
not going anywhere. We know that.
Yes.
But the shift is gonna happen, and I think this is how I look at it. Right now, there's a big hype, right? And a lot of the hype comes from stocks. EV stocks are going. They had their run last year. They're having another run. You know, Rivian just came on board the other
Yeah.
day, and you know, they were out of control. They set record on that. Tesla went over $1,000.
$1,000,
Right? Like there's just so much hype in EV. You know, EV. Everyone wants one. They're so expensive. They're like everyone's paying a premium for it. And this is another thing I don't understand. If a Tesla's worth say 40,000 and you paid $90,000 for the car, thinking, oh, I don't need to fill up gas. Well, dumbass, how much gas? Like $50,000 in gas. How long would that take you? You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
the
No,
numbers don't make sense for me.
Either way, he's gonna have to get a supercharged station at his house. That's like a couple of thousand. I don't know how much.
No,
that
it's
is.
cheap. It's like $500-600.
Really?
But what I'm trying to say is that if you pay a lot of money just for the purchase of a car, you know, where the gasoline vehicle is 40,000, can you justify paying double?
Yeah,
just
for an
because you don't
electric?
have to buy gas.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna spend $40,000 in gas in 5 years. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's a hope and a dream.
again, the thing that needs to happen with EV, and I'll tell you where the real shift's gonna happen. After this whole pandemic bullshit is turned down, or we get some kind of normality, if EVs, the price goes down to that magic number. Everyone knows the magic
Absolutely.
number. The magic number is
30, 40.
$25,000.
Yeah.
You hit that, 25,000.
civic territory, yeah.
Yes.
But isn't Tesla supposed to be like, I don't know what's happening?
they
right
are.
now, but
They're
they're supposed
coming
to be
out-
making cars for $30,000 to $35,000,
See,
right?
what I think would be genius is to have a Civic EV.
There is Civic hybrids.
No, but like
No,
Civic
not hybrid,
EV.
Oh, EV, purely electric.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
Because that's not a bad idea for like a daily commuter. For,
I think you know who's gonna do that. I honestly think Hyundai's gonna lead that pack.
I think they're
Hyundai
already
is
there.
starting
They're
though
getting
Hyundai's
there.
already got,
Ioniq
they already have
and,
the
yeah.
roots.
the
I saw a
Ioniq.
really nice commercial today about Hyundai's. I was like, you know what? I gotta give these guys respect. They're ahead of Honda. They're definitely ahead of Toyota because Toyota is stuck on their hydrogen. You know, they spend so much.
I know,
They
they
spend so
still-
much money on hydrogen that they will not give up.
They can't give
I'm
up.
sorry, but hydrogen does not work for normal cars. Yes, for bus and trucks, different story.
Yeah.
So I think what needs to happen is the minute we need to get back to normal. When we get back to normal and you start seeing the $25,000 all electric vehicle comes out,
Then
that's
it's gonna change your mind.
that's a game changer. You know why?
Yeah.
Because you can buy a $25,000 car and not have to gas out. I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
but let's be real. We love cars. We love to make noise. We love attention or whatever drives you to have a cool car. But you know what? What's the percentage that could care less? Is it 90% of the population? Is it 95% of the population? That's like, well, I need to get from point A to B, and that's it in the
I-
cheapest way possible.
But I think that's the newer generation that's coming up. You know what I mean? Any kids anybody's born after 90s, I think, even at 90s, a lot of them are like, I think morely the old school people who grew up around cars, like were always around gas cars, they're more into that.
Boomers.
Like, yeah, boomers. Even I think my era, like, there's a good amount of people I know, like a lot
the
of people,
last
like,
ones.
Like we're like
No,
I
but
think
what
we're
I'm
the
saying
last
is
ones.
like at the end of the day, though, even the guys that used to be into cars, now they got kids. They're the same guy who you see them in minivans.
They're the ones
Yeah,
calling the police
absolutely.
after 11 p.m. when
Yeah,
the
now-
the BMW
That's
was
life.
bang, 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 right down the street.
Yeah, that's life. But what I'm saying is like, I see the real shift in EV when the price comes down, because
Absolutely.
even Tesla still is just. I mean, I have a Tesla. I get the amount of attention my Tesla gets. I laugh about it because I'm like, what are you looking at? This car this car is ugly. Like
You know what would be a cool idea?
what?
Get some speakers and then get a burble tune hooked up to the Tesla.
I saw that. I saw it
That'd be
already.
pretty cool.
Driving down the street. That already happened?
Yeah, I saw it. Someone's
Brilliant.
already they beat you to that already.
But
But what I'm saying
Hilarious.
is, you get a Tesla or you get an EV at $25,000. Now people are talking.
That's some serious
Now people
stuff.
are like, whoa,
Yeah.
this vehicle.
Why not?
Guys, it's like $2 for a charge. Electricity is very cheap compared to gasoline.
damn.
You know what I mean? Like, it's cheap. I'm sorry, but then the guy who drives from, say 20 minutes or half an hour to work every day, and that charge is gonna last him, and he can get in the morning, it heats up real quick. Like, my Tesla heats up in seconds. The seats and the steering, everything is just quick. Okay,
That's brilliant.
And
That's amazing.
they can go to work, right? So they go to work and they come home and then they plug in, and it costs them say $2. I'm sorry,
Unbelievable.
But $2 a day, you're saying, or $2 like how?
like a
what's-
charge. The charge is cheap.
That's
the kilowatt
amazing.
is cheap.
For me, it would be brilliant to own a Tesla. I split the utilities with my neighbors, and I pay 10%.
Yeah.
A Tesla would make perfect sense.
Beautiful.
They'd be paying for my charge.
Done.
Yep. So as much as we are not happy about electric or we feel ways about it, the truth is that the general population, when you make it cheap enough for them, it's water. It's like it's a stream. It's gonna find the easiest way out. It's
Absolutely.
electricity. It goes to the easiest path. People are the same way.
Exactly.
When you can own a vehicle,
Except for degenerates
yeah.
like myself.
But when you can own a vehicle that's cheap and you don't have to put gas in it, and the other side, you're a mechanic, there's not much there.
Yeah.
The repair costs are very minimum. And
Absolutely.
the manufacturers, when they all step on board on this project, they're gonna push that like no tomorrow. No repairs. Maybe they're gonna come out with like 5 year, they pay for repairs because they know for the first 5 year they'll warranty. It'll be bumper to bumper warranties, and these things will sell like crazy. So the truth is, EVs are the future. They're coming in. Boys, enjoy whatever you got left with these gasoline cars. You make all the noise you want, and the law just gets more and more strict. And
And eventually it's just gonna take over, though. No, but you're absolutely right. But I think even if they have that breakthrough, I think what manufacturers are gonna try to do with EV, they would, I would say, it would be the smartest point of view from them. They would make it like to be serviceable would be only in house. You know what I mean? So we're like for like shops like us to get access to their programs and stuff like that, or certain parts, certain batteries, even Teslas. If you're not I don't think if you're not a Tesla authorized, I don't know if that's even possible. If you're not Tesla,
not a
related-
thing.
Not yet.
not
No,
yet.
it's
But
authorized body shops.
oh no, body
not
shops.
for-
But let's say even parts. I don't think you'd be able to buy a Tesla battery, would you?
You know the reason why I bought a Tesla is so I could buy parts. That was the joke. I never wanted a Tesla.
You
I
wanted
could
to
care
pick the
less.
But
brain.
is that how
No,
it works?
I was at the dealer. Well, okay, I had a customer come in with a Model S. He needed he had a quote from Tesla for $12,000, what he needed. Ball joints, all kinds of stuff, And I was like, bro, it's a car. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay, let's do it. So I'm looking for parts, nothing. I call Tesla, no one picks up. No one cares. It's just, it was so aggravating, Anyways, I ended up going there to talk to them, like, hey guys, I need parts. I need to set up an account, charge account, like
Yeah.
every other dealership. And they're like, oh, this is the sales center. The service center is at a different location, and you have to make an appointment. Like, I'm just blown. I'm like, what's going on
I
here?
think this is a sign. Elon, we love you. Please please hook us up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Send
please.
send some
Work
parts.
with us. Work with
Send some
us.
guys.
And anyway,
get
so I'm
some
talking to the
programs.
sales guy, and he's like, actually, you can't really buy parts. Like, you can buy it for your car. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make no sense. This is just so confusing, bro. I was kind of getting a little agitated. So I'm like, so what? I have to buy a Tesla, and then you guys would sell me parts? He's like, well, that'll make it easier.
That's a good salesman right there.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I know,
I'll
right?
buy a damn Tesla. And I don't think he was expecting that. He thought I was joking. I was like, yeah, I'll buy a Tesla. He goes, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how much is it? He goes, it's 54,000. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then he's like, oh, okay, all right. And again, I was all like during pandemic, so you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that.
Right.
Anyways, I bought the damn thing, and I brought it home. I think it was a very different experience. At first, I loved it. I loved the on screen. I loved how it just drove itself. But at the end of the day, I'm a car guy, And 2 weeks in, I'm like,
The spark was gone.
what am I doing?
It was all
You
lust.
just caught yourself
It was
off guard.
It was
You're
lust at first sight.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
it was
It's not a fun. It's not a fun car. For me personally, it's not a fun car. There's
Tesla's
no
a side
feedback.
chick for sure.
Worse than that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's worse. Than
So that brings me to my next question. So what's the big Tesla SUV? Not the Model,
Model
Y,
X?
the
Model
X,
X.
I think.
Is it the Model X?
X is the biggest
Model X or Range Rover Supercharged?
Oh, a supercharged HSE.
Model X.
Really?
Yeah,
It's actually
badass.
very nice though. It's so nice. The interior.
It's
I've been in
it's
one of
such a
those.
beautiful car.
Beautiful,
Really?
beautiful.
Yeah,
car,
it's
though.
pretty, and it's quite expensive. I think it's on the price range of like a RSQ8.
I mean,
Is it
dual
like a
motor?
hundred? It's
a
north
dual
of
motor
100
one
though.
I would probably take, but man, that Range Rover.
Oh, beautiful. The V8
sound.
supercharged. That little whine it has to it. Oh,
I think
my
if you
goodness.
compare like RSQ8 and the Tesla, now you're gonna get me. I'm on the Audi side for sure.
You've always been Team Audi.
No, not at all.
No.
I'm not Team Audi at
You're
all.
wearing
You
Porsche,
you
though.
get that wrong
You're
about
married.
me.
You're married to Audi.
I'm team almost everything, but I just like to talk a lot of shit.
You love that little V10 of yours.
Not that much, no.
No.
Okay, the Model X is definitely a really cool car. I think it just gets a lot of attention. It's the doors, it's the visibility when you're sitting in it. It's a really cool car, and comparison wise, I like that it has a grill. Like it has somewhat of a grill. It doesn't have.
a form of a car, like a
Yeah,
like
it has a
true-
form-
It
And
has
the-
a personality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then it does
absolutely.
have a heads-up display. Like it's more. They put a little bit more effort into it, but the price range of that, comparing to a RSQ8, comparing to a GLE like a AMG 55 or one of those or a beautiful X5,
E55,
a M Sport X5, X6,
whatever,
or
yeah,
Land
yeah,
Rover. Like
100%.
you know what, and the thing is, the electric fanboys they'll take a Model 3 over some of these cars that I'm naming. You know what I mean? So, but like,
Yeah,
I think one thing that Tesla doesn't have, they don't have class. Like they don't have, like I look at a lot of these new cars right now, man, and it's like I get in and I'm like, damn, this shit is art.
It still feels like a Kia,
Well,
right? Like the Tesla, it still feels like a Kia.
Yeah, it's got. You
Well,
know,
no,
it's the,
I think the Model X though, the interior, the seats, the way they have their whole lighting, I think it is an art though. Like I think Tesla itself is an art, but it's like a weird modern art.
yeah, it's a
not-
modern art. Yeah,
it's a modern,
boring,
with like
kind of minimalistic, right?
yeah, very minimalistic.
Yeah.
Just one screen, like a chair. Just not like doesn't. When you look at it, you're like, oh my god, this is like a chair I could sit on.
It's like going to
you know,
the.
it's the
it's
weird
like going
shape
to
it has.
a dude's apartment, right? Like a dude that just lives by himself, and then he
yeah,
has
like a
one
s-
chair,
like- yeah, like-
one table, and a TV.
That's it. One
then-
one plate, one fork, one
Yeah,
knife. Like,
yeah.
Very
A
minimalistic.
flower vase from his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. That's like dried up and everything's
So-
dying.
So I mean, a lot of like, especially with the Mercedes, man, the new stuff is just it's gorgeous.
gorgeous.
It's just gorgeous. Like they're just stepping.
I
it
can't
up.
but
lie,
I
they
think-
make me giddy too. I see one and I'm. Ooh,
I think Mercedes
I
is
love
just
it.
throwing shit now. Like, you know what I mean? Actually, like, look at this screen. Oh, look at the lights that's going on
Yeah.
all the way
Don't
around.
look at Tesla. Look what we have.
Look at what we have. We got heating steering wheel and AC steering wheel. We got
Yeah, yeah.
everything.
Hey,
you know?
let's talk about your car. So, what do you drive right now?
So I got an 08 Acura TL. I actually bought it from the customer that was at my old shop. He's a very good gentleman. He always been serviced. I've been servicing that vehicle prior to, so I know a long history of that vehicle.
Yeah.
So when it was time for him to give up the vehicle, he wanted another Acura as well. So I'm like, yeah, why not? So I bought this vehicle. I've had it for almost 2 years now. Honestly, one of the most amazing cars I've had.
Yeah.
You know, thus I am working European. I do want to get myself into a European vehicle.
Like a nice Land
eventually.
Rover.
What do you see yourself in?
When you got when Fine Auto Works, was it? When that opens
Auto
up,
Lab
Auto Lab
Fine
Fine
Cars.
Cars.
Auto Lab Fine Cars.
Cars.
Sorry,
Man.
When that opens up, I know I was definitely trying to. I'm thinking about an E55, an '08 E55, like the one we had the other day here, or an E63, or an 012 E63, somewhere there. I really like those V8 compressor supercharged Mercedes motor, and I really
Okay.
want to work on them. You know, like I really like Mercedes, like the way they have their old school stuff. It's
Yeah.
very like a classic
Classy.
timeless
Mercedes
piece.
is classy. Yeah.
Very nice.
And even the new stuff is like, it's modern classy.
Yeah,
Like,
like
it's
it's
like,
bathed in it. But I think those, but it to me especially,
well-dressed.
It's, yeah, it's,
oh
like,
yeah.
But to me especially like '08, '12s, like when they say it's AMG, I feel like that is true
Yeah,
AMG.
yeah.
Now you can get AMG line like classes, like little trims, but when they were that was AMG, you get your proper 6-pod pistons in the front, 4 pods in the back, bigger rotors, better sway bars, everything's built.
And
little
that
bit-
sticker on the
like,
windshield
when it
is
says
meant
AMG,
to, bro.
yeah.
That's the man who created it.
Create
you
no
know?
the motor. Every single AMG has it's a
Hand-built
hand-built
motor.
motor by a certain tech in German, and
Yeah.
it has this plaque on right dead bang in the middle, and it just doesn't get more beautiful than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
he's like, this is a hand-built motor. It's a hand. I don't know if it's the whole vehicle's hand-built. I gotta look that up, but I wouldn't be surprised even if it was, right? Like, but yeah, to me, yeah, this has been like one of my. I really love this Acura. Honestly, I know the transmission is a little bit iffy, but.
What you
so
got done
far,
to
knock
it?
on wood.
You do any
So
work on
far, I've lowered it. I've got some Indy 500s on it. Nothing crazy. Just a little exhaust work. Just did all my maintenance. I just want a car just gets me A to B, Z, go on long trips, doesn't break down. That's like I really like reliability.
It keeps the
that's what
money in
counts.
your bank.
Yeah, like I do want to get me a project car. Eventually, I will when the time is right, when the market's right. I'll definitely buy another car. Mess
I'm
around
gonna
with
find
it.
you something nice. Don't worry.
Yeah, most definitely. No, most definitely. I
Let
already
me
have a
get the
Celica.
license, and I'll find you something real.
Yeah,
nice,
I already have a
know?
Celica, but it's time for me to get rid of it. I had some work done to it too as well, but it's time to get rid of it. I was gonna track it originally, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, what, it's not worth it. Let's just wrap it up. We'll find a better car to track instead of a Celica. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
why waste my time into that?
You're progressing.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's get a European. Let's make it more challenging now, right?
See, that's something I never understand. Some dudes, why do they pick a car that just makes no sense to do work on?
Well, because I think they do that because it's cheap, affordable.
Yeah.
Parts are super accessible. So that's why, you step into
Yeah.
European tracking cars, like parts get a little bit finicky now. Like it gets more expensive. The tunes are a little bit more harder, I guess. You know what I mean? Like to source things out, like the way they have engineered, the difficulty level rises, compared to a Japanese.
You know what blew
vehicle.
my mind one time? I was driving to work, and I was minding my absolute own business. A PT Cruiser pulled up beside me with no hood, and all I heard was a blow-off valve.
Jeez,
And the
wow.
guy was gone.
A PT Cruiser.
Yeah, I saw him, and then I didn't. And
I know
was
who that
minding
is,
my
bro.
own business.
Yeah, I know.
I know
I,
where
think I knew who that is.
I know
That
who
was
that
a
is.
fast
Yeah.
car.
Oh my!
And
actually,
I thought to myself, I'm like, that man is mad. That is one.
He's just
man.
mad at the world.
But he loves his car.
I mean, you must hate the
Holy
world to
crap.
be driving a PT Cruiser with no hood.
I guess to each is their own,
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's one thing. You know what? I do
Yeah,
always have to
absolutely.
step back and be like,
yeah.
it's nah. Let the man. He's a pioneer.
For me, there was like
He's
confusion.
different.
take-
He's
yeah,
doing
it's
something
different.
different.
But still, the slightest ounce of admiration
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
that
I
man
mean-
Total
enjoying his
humiliation
car.
to
to
be
you,
a true
but-
car guy, you must appreciate even the caravan that's done up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I agree with it?
trap wagon.
Would I do
The
it?
trap
no.
van,
But
yeah.
if
Is-
someone's
is your
into
preference?
that,
No. Yeah.
We have,
but you gotta
we have a
admire
guy
his.
here in our local car scene. He has
Yeah.
a trap van. It folds open, all the speakers start going.
Oh yeah. I think I've
Yeah.
seen those. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so cool.
It's
Yeah.
people go
It
crazy.
always
I gotta
brings
learn to
attention.
appreciate more than just what I like. I think that's my issue. I tend to judge too quick. But I won't ever confront somebody and say, "Hey, you have a piece." But sometimes I see something that I'm like, "What's this guy? What's wrong with
But
this
you
guy?"
are
Hey, you
opinionated,
know?
and it's good to have an opinion.
Yeah,
It's
I have
good to-
opinion, and,
because
you
that creates
know, just-
discussion
yeah.
and differing ideas.
And I think that's what's
going
gonna
to
be fun about the show is bringing guys
Yeah.
on that I probably wouldn't agree with,
Absolutely.
and
The
I'm gonna
Camber
pick at
Gang boys.
Oh, I'm
you
gonna
know?
pick at Camber Gang. Let's go. Why?
Yeah.
Why the
Yeah.
fuck would you do that?
Why
but you know
do you
what?
have negative 12 degrees of camber?
Yeah. Why?
How do you have negative 12 degrees of camber?
Why are you scraping? Like,
Why did you relocate your
always
strut mounts?
scraping? Like,
Yeah. So many
But you know what?
questions.
Maybe I've been kind of out of that scene for a bit, but it feels like things have toned down. That people are not picking at each other like they were.
No, there's more of an exception now. There's more of a, and I think that comes with society becoming not necessarily softer, but there's a societal notion that we have to accept each other.
yeah, it's more
And
openness.
Or is
Yeah.
it a
right now, I
COVID
guess.
effect?
No,
Are
I
we-
think it's
have
a
we been
societal
all
Well,
kinda
effect.
cooped
COVID
up
has a
inside?
big play into it
Have
too.
we been
People
cooped
haven't
up
seen
inside
it.
for so long that now we're kind of like, whoa, cool.
Save, here's that PT Cruiser, and he's like,
Whoa, PT Cruiser, yay.
Well, I don't think there's gonna ever be a time where somebody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, it's PT Cruiser."
Yeah,
Hey, but
man.
if let's
You'd be
just say
surprised.
let's say that PT Cruiser, smacks you off the line.
Oh,
I mean, you
most-
gotta give it some respect.
Yeah. No, I gotta give him. I gotta give him my hats off to him. Like, for actually putting in.
But you have
his
to know
time
you
and
are
things.
racing him.
Yeah,
There's the key factor.
that's true.
If he beats you in a race and you don't know you're racing, is it a race?
That's true. It's not.
I
Hey,
like
Raj,
that.
what's the dream build, man?
So, what would my dream build? Honestly, like, I have a couple different variations. But I love a V8. Anything V8, I love. But I think my favorite V8 motor would be an LS. I would love to put an LS on a 240. Like an everyday track. But like, a lot of people want to do drag racing. I'm not really a drag racing guy. I'm more of a track build guy. So I like to have good balance, like a lightweight V8 motor. And there's a lot of different variation in LSs. So I would like a very compact LS motor in a 240, track it, just build it from ground up. That would be like, my top build. But my other build would be like a 4Runner, lift kit, big chunky tires. Yeah.
I would have never thought of that.
My man.
I love 4Runners.
Raj, let's go off-roading
I love to
sometime.
go off-roading. I like to do some shit like that, wild
100%,
shit.
brother.
I love to do adventure things like that. That's just who I am too.
We have plenty of adventures to go
Oh
on.
man, my cousin's up in
Yes.
Fort Mac. He be doing some shit like that too.
You
so
drop
that-
an LS
right,
and
yeah.
a 4Runner.
Oh,
Ooh, my God.
my God, that'd be
350
crazy.
small block.
My goodness,
Why
big
not?
blower, big
Oh,
scoop up
454
there.
big block.
Jeez.
I just keep you here, big, 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 big.
All
Crazy,
you're
big
hearing
chunky
is
tires.
gas guzzling V8.
Hell yeah, bud.
Yeah,
and
but
Japanese frames.
that'll be crazy though. Yeah, that'll be I think 4Runner. Yeah, but other than that, I would love to have an Audi actually. I would like to get an
Really?
S5. Like, just like a nice
I got
comfort
you.
drive.
I got you. Don't worry, it's coming.
As
It's
long as
coming.
it's not an A4,
Nah,
A5,
whatever.
anything with an 92 liter.
But like I've heard the S5, the V8s is not the really trustable, reliable engines.
the
I haven't
timing
worked-
chain is
Yeah.
Yeah, but see,
an
why are you worried
adventure.
about not
no,
reliable?
but you could upgrade,
You're-
update them all.
you're a
yeah,
mechanic.
for sure.
You can
Mr.
fix it.
Versatile.
Yeah, rip
Yeah.
that shit apart
Part
over
of
the
this-
weekend. Back on the road on Monday, bud.
For sure,
Nice and easy.
100%.
Right? So who cares?
Yeah, it is. That's true. That's absolutely true.
But
though.
don't worry,
Believe in
whatever you need,
yourself.
I got you. I'm gonna be the sleazy sales guy. Hey, how can I help you today?
What do you need?
What kind of car do you need?
I
No,
got
I
this-
got the best financing.
I got this wonderful PT Cruiser. You can finance it for 6.99%.
Wow.
Only approved credit.
Oh shit, man, your credit score came back just horrible. You know what? I could get it for you at $29.99.
No, look at this guy. His second guy coming in there. Trying to.
Yeah, that's
man.
you know what though? Even for myself, learning the used car thing, that's gonna be a lot of I think I'd like to bring someone on. I'd like to bring someone on. We can pick their brains at used cars, how that works, because I have no clue how used cars works.
Well, we knew nothing about media.
Yeah, now
Here
we're
we
learning
are.
media. Yeah.
You
We
got to
found
test new
Julian.
waters. You know what I mean? You
found
have to.
Julian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our savior.
So how was today's podcast? How you feel about it?
Honestly, this is an amazing experience. To be honest, my first podcast actually. So this is a very new experience. It's super delightful to be around good people. Good energies. It's just trying to push each other up to be better. Obviously,
Yeah,
you know what I
just
mean.
talk, talk,
and I love to be here
we
to support.
we learn
right?
from each other, and
Exactly.
it's just a discussion, man. This is an awesome discussion, and
Honestly, yeah,
today we've
100%.
had our mechanic online.
Yeah,
And hopefully next time we're gonna bring someone else who's gonna contribute to this discussion. And
sure.
But yeah, man, it was really nice having you on. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday.
yeah.
I'm glad everyone got to meet you.
Thank you for having me over. Like, this is amazing. I
All
love
right,
it.
guys, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning
And
in.
we'll
see
see
next
you
week.
again. Take care.
Peace.
Yeah, beautiful.